was right here at Providence Park in Portland, Oregon, where 42 years ago, one of the greatest inventions of the entire decade took shape. This stadium was once home to a plucky independent team called the Portland Mavericks, who had on their roster a journeyman left-hander, Rob Nelson, and a former New York Yankee, Jim Bouton, who would etch their names into candy lore in 1980 when they took a swing at their version of bubblegum, shredded like chewing tobacco. And it was called Big League Chew. Now, while the idea of bubblegum mimicking chewing tobacco might be something that's frowned upon now, in the 1980s, it was a chance for kids to feel like grown-ups. I mean, heck, we were already smoking chocolate cigars and candy cigarettes. We proposed to our grade school girlfriends with ring pops. It was only a short hop to bubblegum chewing tobacco. And right now, I'm going down to the very field where Big League Chew was born so I can find out how Rob managed to create the original batch by hand.
Jim Bouton had asked me, had I ever chewed tobacco, and I said I tried it once and it didn't make sense, and he had the same history, so neither of us were tobacco chewers. I said, what do you think of the idea if we shredded bubblegum and put it in a pouch where we could look cool, but we wouldn't make ourselves ill? He said, I love that idea. What would you call it? I said, I don't know. Big League Chew?
Really? So you named it?
It was within 30 seconds, maybe less. On a handshake, he put up about 10 grand, and we were on our way.
But they wouldn't have sold any at all if Rob didn't visit the kitchen he's taking me to today, which is still owned by a Mrs. Candy Field, who helped him with his first batch over 40 years ago. And yes, that really is her name. Did you ever think you would have a role in making one of the most iconic bubblegums of the entire 1980s?
I didn't ever think it would be what it has become.
Rob's agreed to remake the recipe from his very first batch, a flavor that's never been released to the public.
Jim Bouton had tried to explain to a few gum companies back in the Northeast what he wanted to do, and he phoned me and he said, Rob, they don't get it. I need a sample. And I was at a loss, randomly picked up a copy of People magazine, and there was an article about a small company, the Arlington Confection Company. One of the things they were making was bubblegum. So I ordered a case of the stuff and just followed the instructions.
And today, using a similar gum-making kit, Rob sets to work in recreating his game-changing original batch.
This is where the magic's gonna happen.
Now put your syrup in there, pour it in there, and then...
Squeeze.
Thank God you were there that day 42 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
So now, I do the mix.
Then, with the gum base and corn syrup mixed together, onto the powdered sugar bed it goes.
I got the need for need.
Rob kneads it together, adds the magical mystery flavoring, and finally slices it into the shreds that made his gum a game changer. These were how the shreds were made. I love it.
That's how we made it, with a pizza knife.
So this flavor was never released and never recreated until right now, 42 years after it was originally made in this very kitchen. If I may.
Have at it, take the whole thing.
Let me just take a pinch. All right. Time to join the big league. Not vanilla. I'll say more peppery than that. Is it root beer?
Correct.
Wait, I want to see what the master thinks.
Best gum I ever tried.
See, I happen to like root beer as a drink, but I never thought of it as a gum.
Well, nor did the Wrigley people. So the Wrigley people said, you stick to the ideas, we'll make the gum.
But Big League Chew was in a league of its own in the 1980s, and I was able to get the inside baseball on this transcendent treat. Today, they're about to sell their 1 billionth pouch.